welcome back to Ascending with Ashley. I'm Ashley. We're gonna do a collective reading. Hey, I just put some winter jazz on. I'm watching Stranger Things all out of order to try and pick up on some subliminal messages. And it's also a really good way to make time go faster. Or at least get... Oh wow! Look at how this came out. Closed off, guarded, and resistance. Sorry, my lighting sucks. Just trust me. You guys want to see something I got? Is it the same company? Oh, no, maybe it's different. So, I got this. I've been wanting this for archery, for my arrows, for a really long time, and it finally came today. Yes. Niall and I went on a little road trip today to retrieve Mr. Hoodie's ashes. I went to a thrift store, got an oil change. It took fucking forever. I had to wait in line. I accidentally missed the driveway. And then I had to do a U-turn, and in the midst of that U-turn, some guy came. Anyway, alright. What are you being closed off, resistance, or guarded from? What? Truth? Speaking your truth. Or accepting someone else's truth. Whichever. My earrings match that truth card. What do you need to say? This is a really nice winter jazz. Oh, Stranger Things creeps me the fuck out. I'm watching season 2 right now. I watched season 1 yesterday. I watched 3 and 4 like last week. Separation, longing, water energy, guarded, vulnerable, avoidance, and stalemate. Uh-oh. You know, regardless of what you're going through, regardless of what you've been through... Oh, Dark Night of the Soul was flipped over. Oh. If you're new on my channel... I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the Dark Night of the Soul because we've talked about the Dark Night of the Soul a lot. So, just peruse the readings. The collective readings have their own playlist. The collective convos are more taboo topics that a lot of us have to deal with or are healing from. Collective coffee are like world event kind of situations. And then I've done a lot of shorts. Chasing Nostalgia is for inner child healing. So go peruse some of the playlists on my channel if you are going through the Dark Night of the Soul. If you're going through Dark Night of the Soul, it's not just a one night thing. Going around people really fucks me up. It's not just a one-time thing. It is a God, I spent so much money on my road trip. I'm just thinking of numbers. Sorry. It is accepting your path, like what you've been through up until this point. Not only things that were done to you, but also things that you're ashamed of that you've done to others, and shamed, embarrassed. The shadow feelings, if you want to go through those, the shadow work, #shadowwork short playlist is going through each and every one of these so you can like figure out what feelings. I think that's the hardest part, is identifying the feelings and accepting that you do have feelings, because you know, in our society and in our conditioning, you know, we've been encouraged to shut ourselves down, avoid shit that makes us feel uncomfortable, right? You know, your truth and expression have been, you know, when we were little, the truth and expression was accepted, but as we grow up, encouraged to guard ourselves, to not allow ourselves to be vulnerable. Oh, I like how this is going. I didn't mean to flip you off. I'm just separation and longing. I feel like as I'm speaking to this, it's like you separate from yourself, right? And then you consistently long for who you know you are, right? Who you have always known yourself to be. Again, this part of you that has been encouraged to cast aside. So that's kind of the dark night of the soul. It's like going backwards, not like literally, but it's like, walking down memory lane, and accepting what happened, remembering, and like picking up all of those pieces of yourself and allowing yourself as an adult to be who you are. While I was cooking dinner, I was like, I had a thought, and it was like, I've always like had this question as my own little inner child was like, why can't the adults get peace right? Like, what's the big deal? And I just had this epiphany while I was making dinner, because it was like, I don't know why, but my brain was just braining. And I was like, remembered myself always thinking that as a little child. And it really impacted my studies, like my academic studies. I've been so, like, I really concentrated on genocide in my undergrad because I just, like, can't fathom how that happens, right? And especially, like, living right now, it's just like, oh, people are apathetic, but why, right? Like, there's still that philosophy of, like, why, or, like, wanting to understand the psychology of why people are apathetic to others suffering, right, at like a crazy scale, right? And the epiphany I got during dinner was because people are at war with themselves. So this shadow work is accepting your darkness, accepting the things that happen to you. It doesn't necessarily mean like, letting everybody scot-free, right? We forgive so that we don't carry it, but we don't forget. When people show you who they are, believe them. Don't allow cycles of abuse to continue, right? But flowing through what happens, right? Not being too resistant to, because life is life, right? Where it's not just supposed to be, if these systems didn't exist, I feel like, before the entire planet was colonized, perhaps there was peace, right? Perhaps there were moments of bliss, right? But what I got tonight was people, because they're at war with themselves. So that war within you is what shadow work represents. It's that you are... If you're at war with yourself, then there's something that you're not accepting about yourself. What is your truth? Right? And you can only deny your truth for so long, right? Like, you can wear a facade in front of others, but your soul, the dark night of the soul, right? Not your physical being, but your soul, which I personally believe is like an energy that transfers. It doesn't die. I believe that our souls stay intact regardless of what our physical being is doing. So if you think of it that way, I don't know if you believe in reincarnation or not. I do. Just a heads up. You don't have to believe in what I believe, but allow this to at least open yourself to some curiosity, right? I think one of the most important things about shadow work and healing work is that we are curious and not judgmental about why we do the things that we do, about why we've been through the things that we've been through, about what things have been able to teach us, or what lessons we still need to learn, or like, it's like this acknowledgement, I'm thinking of a pros and cons list, except it's, things I enjoy about myself and things that I am not comfortable accepting, right? And then start with that, find a balance between those things, right? Like the things that you're not comfortable accepting, why? because someone along the line told you that you shouldn't do that, or you saw, like a idol or a musician say something, like, what is it? Who impacted you to have those feelings about yourself? Start there. But I think acknowledging the feelings, like I said earlier, is a really hard part. But we talk about feelings over here as don't mind Niall's produce section. He's like doing as a pirate ship. Okay, the pirate ship represents our feelings, or no, ourselves, and the waves represent our feelings. And so how we decide to, again with this water energy, how we ride the wave, how we allow our feelings to, like, do we breathe through it, do we recognize it, or do we just shove it down with smoking, drinking, fucking, sucking, whatever the fuck people are doing. I mean, this was something that I really, really have, I don't want to say mastered, but mastered is coming, but honored is what I'm thinking more. Honored about myself is that I smoked for a really long time, off and on for like 15 years, really long time. And finally, almost 2 years ago, I was like, why am I doing this? Like, what is it that I'm keeping myself from saying? And then I blew the fuck up over here on my YouTube channel. I quit smoking. At first I had to quit coffee, and then I quit smoking, and then I started drinking again. So I had to quit that again. But I think that I recognized that, I mean, I've been doing inner healing work. I've been in therapy since I was very young. So my introspection level is, I have a very good understanding of why I do the things I do. And I've also had time incarcerated to only sit and think, right? But I think I recognized that there was a truth that I was being encouraged not to share. And once I realized that, I was able to finally stop that habit. I love smoking. Like, I enjoy, but it was gross. It was grossing me out. I was getting really sick. I'm like, am I going to be, like, I don't want to be a cigarette mom. Like, what am I doing? Like, it's embarrassing, like. And it's funny because today we went on that road trip, and I was like thinking back to all the times that we had been down there when I was smoking, and I was like, oh, I remember pulling over there for a cigarette. And I would pull over and get out and smoke, and but so all that to say is, like, recognizing what it is, like, what's your truth? How are you expressing yourself or not expressing yourself? And when you start to recognize that, you'll understand why you're closed off, or why you're resisting change in that area, or acceptance, right? It doesn't even have to be change, but just like this acceptance of who you are. We have the higher self activation, which the last time I used this deck a couple days ago was also, the title of the reading was higher self activation. So if you want to go watch that, it is, that's what it's called. Go check it out if this is resonating. If not, I don't care. It's there for you if you need it. Action, courage, and beginnings. So taking action toward a new beginning for yourself. And I feel like this beginning is not avoiding stuff. And instead of longing for who you are, right? Not staying so guarded, not being totally fearful of being vulnerable. And you don't even have to be vulnerable with others, but allowing yourself to be vulnerable with you, right? Allowing yourself to hold space for your own self, right? And that's going to be this higher self activation. The dark night of the soul is essential. But I will say, and I always give this warning as well, is that if you're on this path, if you're choosing to come into consciousness to do healing work, to acknowledge, your flaws and integrate them, the thing that I will say, a couple things. First of all, it's a lifestyle change. You cannot go back. Once you start to accept yourself like this, your entire world will change, because you are going to be awake to what's actually going on. You're not going to see things at a surface level, including yourself, but most importantly yourself. But once you see, that saying, you can only meet someone, or you can only connect with someone as deep as they've met themselves, or something like that. I don't know. But think about that. So think about how deeply do you know yourself, right? And know thyself. Why is that coming? Oh, what is that? I'm getting like a very tan, like the color tan. Like, is it a stone? I feel like it's like a engraved stone that says know thyself, but I have no idea. My phone is charging. Well, I have another phone. Hang on, let me see. I feel like this is like an ancient culture or something. It's probably Masonic. Masonic? Is that a word? Know thyself stone. Oh, it's Latin. Why am I seeing this? Greek art. Know thyself was carved into a stone at the entrance of Apollo's temple at Delphi in Greece, according to the legends. What was Apollo known for? The Greek god of music, prophecy, healing, light, and archery. Yeah! No wonder I'm channeling that. I've been really into archery. Hunger Games might be significant. I'll leave this out in case we need to look up something else. But I'm getting that, so maybe Apollo resonates with you. Maybe you're being called into some sort of Greek, maybe this, I'm not laughing at whoever's situation this is, but perhaps your trauma happened when you were in like some sort of fraternity or sorority. Those are Greek. Puppy. Interesting. Alchemy, ancestor guides, and twin flame. I don't want to spend any time on the twin flame. A twin flame is like a mirrored soul. So if there's someone around you who irritates the fuck out of you, who you feel is like a counterpart or like a balance to you, it doesn't have to be romantic. Most people know or have a good idea of who their twin flames are. So maybe your twin flame is mirroring back to you the work that you need to do, and maybe you're ignoring that, right? Because the first energy out was closed off. Just remember that, just like everything else, the twin flame journey is important if you are wanting to heal. If you don't want to do it, I mean, you have free will. You don't have to be involved in that. But it did come out, so perhaps there's someone who is mirroring you, or, you know, and then so projections and reflections hasn't come out, but that's what the twin flame journey is. It's like a rubber band, and you guys like can't escape. You have to like move together in a certain way. Right? This is rubber band. So it's like, well, you could do that. Where did that go? I don't know where it went. But like, so you pull each other. I have a scrunchie I can use. So you like pull each other, and it's like one of you is healing and one of you is resisting, and you know, that's how I think of it. Hopefully that was helpful. Alright, we do have alchemy and ancestor guides. So when you're struggling with this, when you're having a hard time, especially if you are I mean, most folks that I'm talking to on my channel, if any of this is resonating, even if the dark night of the soul is resonating with you, the reason that we're doing that and the reason we're being called to is because we're the cycle breakers for our lineage. We're the ones that are, you know, saying like, this stops with me, right? And if the first thing that you have to do is, if you want to stop something, you have to acknowledge that it exists, right? I come from a family that is completely ignorant to their own bullshit, and I always called it out, so I'm the scapegoat turned black sheep. I'm totally fine with that, because I'm not a hypocrite. And I called that out all the time, like, you guys are hypocrites, like, what the fuck? And then they're like, you're crazy. No, I'm not. So anyway, maybe that's you. But again, you can't acknowledge something if you deny its existence. Whether it's a feeling, a memory, a pattern behavior, right? Like I already talked about the smoking and stuff, right? So reach out to your guides, your ancestors. Remember, if you do have colonial lineage, it's important that you do some decolonizing. I also have playlists for that. But you're either on one of two sides with that. Your colonial lineage is, violent and awful. And that doesn't have to look like slave owning people. It can just be people who, like we're witnessing today, people who are minding their business, staying in their own privilege and comfort, pretending like everything's okay, right? It doesn't necessarily need to be, but that is a form of violence. It's a form of violence to know that something is happening to other people and to only think of yourself, right? So selfishness is a thing that you might also be dealing with. And maybe that selfishness came because of a, like always being abandoned, right? Or always being, so I mean, there's a fine line between being like a selfless or selfish person or, knowing yourself, right? Know thyself. I don't know. Why does that keep coming through so much? Apollo really wants to be useful here. This is so interesting. Apollo teachings. Apollo, wait, no. I need to type that better, hang on. Alright, let's get some quotes. Know thyself, divine beauty. I am the son of Zeus, Apollo is my name, but you I brought here over the wide gulf of the sea, meaning you no hurt. Oh, God. Nay, here you shall keep my rich temple that is greatly honored among men. Ah, wretched me, that love is not to be cured by any herbs, but that those arts which afford relief to all are of no avail for their master. Okay, what the fuck is up with Daphne? Apollo and Daphne. The myth of Apollo and Daphne. So this could be resonating with your twin flame journey. Just listen. Tells how the god Apollo, after mocking Cupid, was shot by Cupid's golden arrow, causing him to fall madly in love with the nymph Daphne, who was simultaneously shot with a lead arrow, making her repulsed by him. You see, that's that push and pull. Runner-chaser dynamic. Total twin flame. Apollo relentlessly chased Daphne through the woods. As he was about to catch her, she prayed to her father, the river god of, I shit you not, penis. Peneus. Penis. Who transformed her into a laurel tree to save her. Chick was like, no, I'm a tree. I'm gonna make like a tree and leave, bitch. Heartbroken but still devoted, Apollo declared the laurel tree his sacred plant, forever adorning his head and symbols with its leaves as a sign of honor and victory. Fascinating. Oh, the little crown. Interesting. Unrequited love, nature and divinity, and artistic inspiration are the themes of significance. The myth highlights the pain of love that isn't returned. I am an expert in this field.
Right.
Nature and divinity. It connects gods with natural elements, particularly the laurel tree, which becomes sacred to Apollo. An artistic inspiration. The story has inspired countless artists, most famously the Bernini sculpture, which is that crown, that leafy crown. Another quote, "You haven't killed me yet." Wow. Okay. What is Apollo's landing? Oh my god, you're irritating the fuck out of me. Apollo 11 could also be significant. First landed humans on the moon. I mean, that was a Hollywood production. Apollo 11. Armstrong. I don't know. Take this for what you will. It's just an interesting... We're being led through this right now. So what does Apollo mean to you? I often think of Armageddon, the movie Armageddon, with Bruce Willis and Liv Tyler and Ben Affleck and like a whole host of other fuckers. When I think of anything that has to do with space, I think of that movie. I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Leaving. Oh shit, fuck. Distance, retreat, or timeout as I'm singing. Leaving on a jet plane. So find that balance between avoidance and distance, right? Transcendence and unity with yourself, right? So whoever's outside of you reflecting back to you things that you want to avoid, do your best to flow through that stuff. It's not going to be helpful to blame others. Again, we have this action. Didn't this already come out? No. Action, courage, and beginning. I swear to God this already came out in this reading. Why would it be back in here? Oh, I probably put the deck down while I was... So... Take that action. Whatever it is. And again, you don't have to, like, do a speech. You don't have to make a YouTube production or anything to speak your truth. You can simply, like, accept it within yourself. And if you want, you can, like, write it down or read it back to yourself. Facade beliefs. Yeah, continuing to release... This has been coming up in every reading lately. Continuing to release these forms of yourself that you've kind of adopted for safety, right? Because again, it's about accepting yourself fully, right? That unrequited love that Apollo and Daphne speak of is Daphne. I'm getting that movie What a Girl Wants with Amanda Bynes. Daphne is her name. I got a funny pin today that I want to share with you. It says, "Let's read banned books and cause problems." So anyway, I also got these cute Christmas stickers just in time for the holidays. Look at these Christmas lights. They're so cute. I like them. And we got these little frosty snowflakes. But yeah, like a tree. Okay, so Daphne turns into the tree, which means she's not going anywhere. So root yourself in your reality. I always say we are like the trees. We grow always, right? Allow yourself to do so. Don't get in your own way, right? Because the thing about it is, like, this story between Apollo and Daphne, balance will be created regardless of if you want it or not. Right? Like, no matter how much you resist, eventually a balance will be created. So remember that you always get the energy that you give. So if you are giving bullshit to others, or not treating people the way you want to be treated, right? Golden rule 101, empathy. Being able to feel, again, we can't be afraid of feeling. Feelings are fleeting. It's not going to last forever. It's your internal navigation system. It's like a compass. And when something's off, you feel it, right? Unless you're really distracting yourself using all of these system-made products, right? Chemicals, poisons, to like the lead arrow that hit Daphne. Whatever you're doing that's causing you to continue harming yourself, just maybe pay attention to that and try to take action to make change. This isn't a one-day process, but gradually you're gonna build up this discipline. I think I just shared that yesterday in the video I made. I've been really, really working on my discipline the past year or so, since quitting those habits and like having to consciously choose myself every day and choose not to do things that I really enjoy doing, that are like killing me. I think we all go through that regardless of what the vice is, right? But it's a constant monologue within yourself, right? Like, you're worthy. Like, I'm worthy of living a good life, and that starts with me, right? People are going to treat me the way I treat me. So if I'm continuing to, be careless about my body and my actions and the things I'm doing, then other people aren't going to take me seriously either, right? So it's like, what are your goals? What is your truth? How do you feel? And feel it and speak it and be it. God, I have a hair that's like, I don't know where it's coming from. Today is full of possibilities. See possibility everywhere. All great things have small beginnings. Replace fear of the unknown with curiosity. The best is yet to come. And a dream is a wish that your heart makes. Ordinary people can do extraordinary things. That's a Harry Potter reference, in case you were wondering. Extraordinary. Be your beautiful self. The impossible is often the untried. Replace fear of the unknown with curiosity. Okay, so we got that one twice. The fear that you have about whatever this is, replace it with curiosity. And I said that earlier. This healing process is about not judging yourself, but being curious. Why do I do these things? Why do I feel like this? Why? Right? Not, I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't feel like this. But why am I feeling like this? Why is this bugging me? Why is this other person pissing me off? What about them am I being, like, why is this bugging me, right? Okay, think about it that way. I love you guys. Have a good one.